I love a good horror game. I love the thrill, I love the tension, I love the active war one has to have with themselves to hide in the pause menu every time something goes bump. However, I am not good at horror games. I have terrible aim, startle easily, and am prone to launching my controller at terminal velocity into the nearest wall, TV, or unlucky house guest. Sorry. Playing Cronos New Dawn was no different, and I knew I was going to be in for a time with it when this popped up on my screen before I even started. Oh, it's one of those games. You are a traveller, this Mysterio circa Spider-Man 2 on the PlayStation 2 looking character.
Okay, I'll bite. How did the fishbowl get stuck on your head?
Who is awoken in a grim future, tasked with discovering the cause of a nightmarish pandemic called the Change that took place in Poland in the 1980s, plunging the world into chaos. Bloober Team have said this wasn't inspired by the COVID pandemic, but you would not be without reason to doubt that, given the many references to isolating and social distancing. Regardless, with the path laid by previous travellers, you must hunt for rifts in time to travel back to the past and extract key people of interest to complete your mission, assuming you aren't ripped to pieces by the orphans first. As you explore each of the dilapidated areas on your hunt for answers, you'll encounter these flesh-fused abominations in their various forms, ranging from ew, to super ew, to holy shit, to don't even bother shooting, just run. And if you don't burn the remains, there is no stopping survivors from absorbing their fallen comrades to bolster their own defenses. All in all, they're just a bad time. Now, typically I subscribe to the horror doctrine that to see a thing is to know a thing, and the more you see a shambling monster, the less scary that shambling monster becomes. Similarly, carrying a high-powered shotgun or assault rifle, bit of a tension killer when I can turn the enemy into Swiss cheese. But Cronos accounts for both problems in a simple yet effective way. Bolster the enemies, limit the ammo. It's not crazy difficult to find, don't get me wrong. There are plenty of marked crates scattered around that have the potential to drop you some life-saving bullets, but they'll just as likely give you spendable energy points, the odd healing item, or bullets for a less effective weapon. And even when you are blessed to find the shotgun ammo you desperately needed because you suck at long distance shots, it's usually only 1 or 2 shells. Every shot counts, and that fear becomes less about the enemies themselves and more about what your inventory is going to look like when you finally make it through this one mobbing and have to survive the trip to the next safe room. It's a balancing act that took me some time to get used to. Side note, if there is a death counter on the back end, devs, I ask that number never be released to the public, but one that feels deeply satisfying when you catch on to the patterns and get ahead of the jump. That being said, I didn't start to feel any sense of confidence in my own abilities till at least the third of the main areas, so your mileage may vary. You have a total of 7 weapons that you'll unlock as you progress. 9 really, if you count these hands! Which you shouldn't, because punching is an easy gateway to death, as the game is quick to remind you. A select few weapons, like the sword, a handgun, and the hammer, a shotgun, can be charged to deliver high-impact shots at the cost of precious seconds, whereas your automatic weapons can deliver more shots with less overall impact. Each has their uses and feel good to use, but I did find myself gravitating to the charging weapons, if only because they tended to do a better job at stunning enemies, if not putting them down outright. And that is not an easy task. Most of the standard orphans usually take a few rounds to go down, even when making headshots. Stronger foes might have plated armor or spit acid, making getting close difficult, and with the tight quarters you're typically moving through, it can be a real challenge to get the jump on any of them and take out their weak spots. I actually found bosses to be the easier lot, given you're usually allowed a lot more room to move around and they have pretty easily identifiable glowing weak spots. Still though, they can soak up bullets with the best of them, keeping you moving and on your toes, trying to scrounge up enough ammo to make a dent. You can also upgrade your weapons at the safe hubs scattered around the world. Suit upgrades as well as extra inventory slots can also be purchased, provided you have enough cores, which creates this interesting internal battle of trying to save your cores for a big upgrade versus spending them in the moment for comparatively minor improvements. Who am I kidding though? That was not me. I was spending cores and energy points left and right and hoping for the best. And you know what? It worked. For the most part. It's one big old trial by fire, especially since Cronos New Dawn has no adjustable difficulty options, which really irked me for those first couple of hours. Intertwined with your fight for survival is this constant push to uncover clues left behind. Notes and audio logs make a classic appearance, both from unlucky victims and previous travelers. But the most interesting discoveries come from the extraction of essences, the consciousnesses of the people you've been sent out to collect. You can have up to 3 with you at any one time, each providing their own buffs to the traveler, but without getting to spoiler territory, also with their own memories that will occasionally pop up as fragments as you explore. Much like Bloober Team's other games like Layers of Fear or Observer System Redux, go play it, it's very good, Cronos' story is told through tiny fragments that let your mind wander but don't entirely make sense until you're shown the big picture. Names that keep popping up in documents, the memories of the essences becoming clearer the more you discover. Whenever the gameplay started to feel repetitive, or I was getting a bit fried from my constant trips to the post-death loading screen, oh, you don't say. That mystery hook was enough to keep me pushing through. I'm trying so hard to avoid spoilers because I really think you should play this for yourself and get the full experience. Cronos New Dawn is a tough one to get into, but once you find your feet, you naturally want to keep moving forward. It manages to weave a fascinating story with some stellar gameplay and a brutal survival horror experience. Play.